Well, I'd like to welcome two guests now to our rolling coverage out of London. First of all, Professor of Islamic Studies at the Islamic College for Advanced Studies, Professor Mohammed Saeed Bahmanpour. And also, I'd like to welcome out of Beirut, Middle East expert, Mr. Mohsen Saleh. Thank you both for being with us on this very important day right here in the Islamic Republic of Iran. I'd like to start it off in London with Professor Bahmanpour. I want to talk about the significance of this day. So far here in Iran, it's about, 2:20, just about 2:20 in the afternoon. Voting started at 8 in the morning. What we're seeing so far seems to be a very good turnout so far. And of course, as we know, most Iranians actually vote later on in the day. How significant, how important do you think it is as far as the participation and the numbers, the people, the percentage of people that are participating in this election?
Well, good afternoon, according to the Tehran time to you. And I think this is a very glorious day, as all election days have previously been in Iran. People have the opportunity to once again emphasize their rights and also practice the very important model of democracy which has been introduced in Iran recently after the revolution, and that is religious democracy. The idea of religious democracy is something quite new. It's both new to religion and new to democracy, and I think this is going to open a new gate to humanity in the future, which is probably would be a turning point in the course of history of human being. The idea of religious democracy, which is now being practiced in Iran, which apart from the right of the people for determining their destiny in terms of political system and having the president, has a very important point in stating that religion can now play an important role in the world of politics, with which, of course, we know religion and democracy had been for a long time quite alien to each other. So I think the number of people coming and voting, the turnout in Iran, especially in Iranian democracy, is quite important for this concept. No matter who will be elected, it would assert a new idea in both the world of religion and the realm of democracy. And of course, the number of people voting, the measure of turnout would give the elected president more force, more power to practice the power of president internally and in international relations.
Okay. Well, Mr. Saleh, your perspective, still continuing with the turnout aspect of this. We know lots of, especially from the Western media, when they talk about the turnout, they continually say how important it is, and if it's this percentage, it means this. But when we look at it and compare to those countries themselves, we're looking at the majority of a much lower than 50% participation. And yet, when it comes to Iran, basically they hold it by a different standard. Tell me the importance of this. Is it important because of the international perspective and the way that it's going to be seen, or is it something else?
Well, first of all, good morning for you and for your guest. I guess it is one of the brightest days in Iran, and the Iranians are writing a new epic in their history to make their choice, to make their freedom, the day of freedom. And in order also to participate in the political view of their leadership and their country, to renew the vital way of participating in the political life. I guess the Western media or the Western administrations, they really can't compare themselves to Iran. Iran is living the mentality of participating in the political life besides their leadership and the presidency, they don't go to vote only. They go to express their participation in the political life. This is one thing. The other thing is that they want to keep the principles of revolution and the necessities of the state. So they are espousing between these two entities in order to create a new kind of looking towards political life and ideological life. Religion is the vital principle in this occasion and in this process. I guess now Iran is creating its model, that's true, but it's creating a new pattern in the participation of the people in the political life. The Western media, really, they still, well, I have read some of the comments from Western journalists saying that one of the most glorious way of existentiation of political life is this day in Iran, because more than 70 people of the Iranians, they participate in this day, and they go enthusiastically to vote and say their word, because they are convinced, they have this conviction that this day is a very important day for their political life and for their future, in challenging all kinds of obstacles the West try to put in the road of this state and the people, the great people of Iran.
Well, Professor Bahmanpour, back to what you had said. You talked about religious democracy. I want to look at how important this model is. You had said throughout history, these two had basically been alienated with each other. But of course, after the victory of the revolution in 1979 here in Iran, we've seen a coming together of that. How important is that, especially now when we look at the major changes that are taking place in so many other Islamic countries, as far as perhaps being a role model for them?
Yes, actually, you pointed to a very, very important aspect of Iranian model, and that is the impact that it is going to have on other Muslim countries. I think practice of religious democracy in Iran has a double importance. First of all, Iran did not have any experience of democracy before the Iranian Revolution. There was, of course, a sham sort of democratic, superficial face. However, every Iranian knows that it was just a face. There was no true democracy. Now, after the Islamic Revolution in Iran, the people of Iran are experiencing true democracy, and also this democracy is matched with a new concept of democracy, which is religious democracy. The Muslim countries, other Muslim countries, especially now after the Muslim awakening around the world, they didn't have a model to follow in the new system of polity in the world. And some of them were talking about the system of Khilafah, some of them were talking about old kingdoms and such things. Now they have a good model. And I think all the pressures which are being put against Iran is to suppress this model. This model is going to change the system, the hegemony in the world.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Professor Bahmanpour and Mr. Saleh. I appreciate both of you for being with us.